Today I'm going to be testing out even more healthy TikTok dessert recipes to see if they're actually worth making. This first recipe is for a high protein, low calorie blueberry cheesecake, and it has over 2.8 million views. Now we have had some success with protein cheesecakes in the past, so I'm hoping this one's going to be good too. So he starts by adding light cream cheese to a blender, then low fat Greek yogurt, 1 egg, make sure I've got no shell in there, vanilla extract, stevia, or he says your sweetener of choice, and some vanilla protein powder. This always worries me. I don't tend to like protein powder in desserts. Lid goes on, and then he says just blend until smooth. Okay, that looks good. Now he pours the mixture into a lined tin. Looks like a milkshake. Then he adds some blueberries, and he stirs it with a banana. We've got to follow the instructions exactly. We need to make sure this turns out perfect. Now he bakes it in the oven for 25 to 30 minutes, then he puts it in the fridge, so I'll be back to finish it in a bit. Next up, we have a healthy banana and carrot cake with over 4 million views. And this actually looks really good. Plus, I really like carrot cake and I really like banana bread. And I feel like the combination of them will be amazing. So fingers crossed this one is good. I'm gonna start by grating up our carrots nice and finely. I'm trying my very best not to grate my fingers at this point. Okay, I think that's enough. Now she adds 4 large bananas to a bowl. I think I might have asked you guys this before, but how do you eat your bananas? Do you like them more yellowy brown or do you like them more yellowy green? I am a yellowy green kind of person. If they have spots on, they're banana bread bananas after that. And now we've got to mash these up. Okay, they look sufficiently mashed. Now she adds in some coconut oil, melted, some maple syrup, 1/3 of a cup or 80 milliliters, and our grated carrots. And she just stirs this all together. This looks interesting. Then she adds in self-raising flour, just went everywhere, some cinnamon and some pecans, and just stirs these in. It smells cinnamony. Now she pours it into a lined loaf tin and just spreads this out. And then she bakes this in the oven for 40 to 45 minutes. While our banana carrot cake is cooking, I'm gonna make the topping for it. So she adds cream cheese, Greek yogurt, maple syrup, and cinnamon. And she just mixes this together. Okay, that looks good. So this is our cake. I've let it cool for about 20 minutes, so it is still slightly warm, but I'm gonna try put our icing on it anyway and just hope that it doesn't slide off. Just gonna spread it out, try and make it look pretty. This looks pretty good if you ask me. And then finishing touch, she just adds some chopped pecans to the top. There we go, that is our finished cake. So I'm gonna grab a knife and we'll do a taste test. I'm excited for this. I'm gonna cut off the end because I don't wanna taste the end. I want a nice middle bit. Let's see what it looks like. That actually looks pretty good. It actually looks really moist. Okay, I'm gonna go for this bit. I do like it. I just expected a little bit more from it. I think I said the same thing about the date cake. I feel like it's just lacking in a tiny bit of flavor. The texture is nice though. It's very moist. I'm gonna give the texture an 8.5 out of 10, and I'm gonna give the taste a 7 out of 10. So in total, I'm gonna give it a 7.8 out of 10. Next up, we're making healthy blueberry muffins, and this video has over 3.5 million views. Now, I absolutely love blueberry muffins, so fingers crossed this recipe's delicious. She uses oat flour in her recipe, and I don't have oat flour, so I'm gonna start by grinding up some oats. And there we have our oat flour. Now she adds 2 bananas to a large bowl, and now we're gonna mash them up. Now she adds in 2 eggs, and some peanut butter, and then she mixes this together with a spoon. Then she adds in the oat flour, baking powder, cinnamon, and she mixes these in. And then she adds in her blueberries and just stirs these in. Okay, so that is our muffin batter. So now I'm gonna pour it into cases. So she divides hers into 10 cases. So I'm gonna try and get 10 out of this. I feel like these are gonna be some very tiny muffins. That is all of our muffin mixture, so hopefully they're pretty even. So now she bakes these in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes, and then we'll be back. Okay, our muffins are fresh out the oven, and I feel like they look okay. I wouldn't say they look like incredible bakery muffins, but they still look pretty good. So let's do a taste test. They are very small, and they've kind of stuck to their packet, to their cases. It's fine, it's about the taste, you know? Oh, it's quite nice. I wouldn't say the texture tastes like a muffin, but it's still really good. Like the flavor is really good. I'm gonna give the texture, this is where it falls down, a 5 out of 10, but I'm gonna give the taste an 8 out of 10. So in total, I'm gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10. This next recipe is for no-bake healthy brownies, and it has over 2.9 million views. This recipe looks super easy, so he just adds peanut butter to a bowl, cocoa powder, and maple syrup. And then he just stirs it all together. Okay, that is definitely looking like a fudgy texture. So now he pours it into his tin. I say pour, this isn't very pourable. He puts it in his tin. So in that goes. Oh, I have a horrible feeling my tin might be too big. I don't think he actually said what size his tin was, so I just guessed 8 inches. And then I'm just gonna press that down to the edges. Oh, ours are definitely gonna be thin brownies. Okay. That looks flattened. Now he adds chocolate frosting, and I have a store-bought Betty Crocker chocolate frosting here because he didn't actually say what chocolate frosting he used, but I did find this recipe on his website, and he did give like some options, and one of them was a store-bought chocolate frosting. So I thought, why not? Let's try it. I might have already done a taste test of the frosting. So I'm gonna dollop that on. I guess we do a thinnish layer. I feel like some of you might be asking the same question right now as to how are these brownies healthy? And I would consider these more of an elimination brownie. They don't have flour in and they don't have eggs in. So if you're intolerant to any of those, then this would be an option for you. But just because you cut ingredients out, it doesn't automatically make them healthy. So he pops this in the fridge for about 30 minutes, and then we'll be back for the taste test. Our brownies are now out of the fridge, so let's cut them up. They're very thin. Okay, so mine don't quite look like his. I assume his tin was maybe like a 6-inch tin rather than a 9-inch tin, but it's not about how they look, it's about how they taste. So let's give them a taste test. They're very sticky. They are good. And surprisingly, considering peanut butter is one of the main ingredients, I can't taste the peanut butter that much. Maybe the frosting is a bit overpowering. I don't mind that though. I love frosting. Would I choose them over a regular brownie? Absolutely not. I'm gonna give the texture a 4.5 out of 10. And I'm gonna give the taste a 7.5 out of 10. So in total, I'm gonna give these a 6 out of 10. This recipe is another healthy Snickers. Now, if you've watched one of my other testing healthy TikTok recipes, you'll know I tried the date Snickers. Well, this is banana Snickers, and it has over 1.1 million views. So she starts by peeling the banana. This is the sort of banana I like. A little bit green, a nice yellow color with no brown spots on. And then she slices it in half, and then in half again. And then she scrapes out some of the middle with a little spoon here. For some reason, this half was easier to scoop out than this half. So then she grabs some peanut butter and she puts a little layer, oh my gosh, I'm doing this really badly. She puts a little layer of peanut butter in the middle of the banana. She grabs some dark chocolate and she melts it in the microwave, and then just drizzles this over her bananas. There we go, that looks presentable. And then she grabs some peanuts and just sprinkles them over the top. And then she also sprinkles over some flaky salt. Now, because my peanuts are already salted, I fear this may be a little bit too salty, so I'm just gonna do a little bit. Perfect. Now, I guess we could either let them harden, but I can't wait, so I'm gonna do a taste test right now. It is nice. Does it taste like a Snickers? No, it tastes like banana with peanut butter, chocolate, and peanuts. But it is very nice, and I do like this as a snack. For the texture rating, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. And for the taste, it didn't blow me away. It kind of just is what it is. So I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. In total, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. For the topping for the cheesecake, he adds frozen blueberries into a pan and he just lets these melt for a bit. While they're heating up, we're gonna make our corn flour slurry. So I've got 10 grams of corn flour and I'm gonna add a tablespoon of water and I'm just gonna mix these together. These are looking all juicy now, so I'm gonna add our corn flour slurry and stir that in. And then hopefully this should thicken. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's go get our cheesecake. So this is what our cheesecake looks like, and mine is definitely a little bit browner than his is on top. His kind of just looked like this side, but it's fine because we're gonna top it with our blueberry jam. This looks really nice. Blueberry cheesecake is actually one of my favorite cheesecakes. There we go, that looks pretty good. Then he sprinkles some crushed biscuits around the edge. And then last but not least, he drizzles some white chocolate over the top. And then just swirls it through. There we go. I think that looks really good. So I'm just gonna pop it back in the fridge for about 20 minutes so it can fully set, and then we'll do a taste test. Back out from the fridge, let's cut it up. Like this is actually a really pretty cheesecake, but the moment of truth, let's do the taste test. It's not bad. It's got a really good flavor. It's sweet, it's creamy, it's fruity. I like the white chocolate in there as well. I don't love the texture. I feel like it's a little bit grainy. But I've said this before, I do find baked cheesecakes a little bit grainy anyway. It's pretty good for what it is. And I can't taste the protein powder, which is good. So texture, I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. Taste, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. So in total, I'm gonna give it an 8.3 out of 10. So guys, that is the end of today's video. I feel like this one was pretty successful overall. So I really hope you enjoyed it. If you have any other recipe suggestions, things you want me to test, let me know in the comments below and I'll see you next time. Bye.